perpetual succession. Basically what it means is that the organization will continue to exist even though the members change. So this year you might see the committee, and the next year you get a new committee members elected. But the organization is still the same. So that must also be in your constitution. Membership and the powers of the organization. NPO Act says that the constitution must stipulate what the powers of the organization are. Now, the powers of the organization and the powers of the committee are two different things. If the organization only stipulates the powers of the committee, then it must also stipulate the powers of the organization. Because the committee and the organization is two separate structures. Membership, very important to be clear on who the members are of the organization, because if your organization is a membership organization, then you need to be clear. The NPO Act doesn't say that you must deal with membership. There's not me saying that, right? You must be clear on who the members are. What's the procedure to terminate and admit new members? Any criteria for membership? So, if you have an AGM, sometimes I would be at the AGMs and any person can just vote. They come to the AGM and the organization just they can vote. That's not good for governance. You don't want any person to come and vote at the organization. You can invite them, but be clear on who the members are of the organization. And also be clear on whether we're talking about organizational membership or individual membership. So like I said, the membership is not a requirement in terms of the NPO Act. But this is what a court said about membership, the issue of membership. It's an old case in the Cape Town. They said voluntary association's right to expel a member must be stated expressly or by necessary implication. So, for example, if you have a situation where a member where you have a problem member, all of us will have that kind of members in our organization. They're just problem characters, right? So you want to expel that member. You cannot just expel the member unless the constitution is clear on that. Or you have a policy that says these are the grounds for expelling a member. Because once somebody is a member of that organization, they've signed a contract now. So you don't have powers if it's not in the constitution. Is that clear? So the organization hasn't got an inherent right to expel a member. It must be in the constitution. If it's not expressly given, it must be given by clear and ambiguous implication. So meneer onduidelik wees. Okay?
So Ricardo, wat jy eintlik daar doen vir ons nou streng. As die konstitusie sê dat jy moet 3 meetings hou. Na die derde meeting en jy laat dit daar. Om jy die skriftelik of jy laat weet of iets. As jy raak. Dan kan jy raak.
It depends on what the constitution says. Now that's dealing with the committee membership, right? Okay. So now what happened in this particular case is that it was in 1974, so it was prior to 94, and this cricket union, they were clear that you cannot go to certain matches that were supportive of the apartheid system, right? Cricket matches where their cricket bodies were supportive of the apartheid system. So what they said was, to their members, you're not allowed to go to those matches. So one of their members actually went to a match at Newlands. And the organization found out, and they were quite upset, and they said, you're not supposed to go there, but you went. So we're going to expel you as a member, right? So this guy that went, he said, but I know I'm not supposed to go there, but you don't have a right to expel me. And the the organization said, no, we can, the union, we can expel you because of this. This was the only clause that they're saying is dealing with membership. There's no express clause saying we can expel a member. So this clause is saying all matters not covered by the Constitution shall be dealt with by the union as deemed fit. They say because of that we can expel you. Now, what would, if you're the court now, what would you say? Can that member be expelled based upon this clause? I mean, he admitted he did wrong. He disobeyed the policy. But the only question is whether the organization can expel him as a member.
No, I would say.
Okay, how many are saying no?
I would say the organization can't, but the union can.
But we're talking about the union being the organization.
The union must have a code of conduct for the members.
Yes, and they had a code of conduct, but the code of conduct...
Where that was stipulated.
Yeah, but the code of conduct didn't say we will terminate if you don't...
But can I ask something? What is the highest law in any institution? Is your constitutional bound?
Yeah.
No policies, no something like that works.
Policies work, but none of the policies said they can terminate membership.
Yes.
The Constitution also didn't say that.
So the highest law is the Constitution.
Okay? So,
I will say no because I think you want to specifically what I must do, what I was not do.
Yeah.
Otherwise you can put charge you for anything can you charge them. Right? So they must say you can't take that that's going to say okay, I can charge you for something you've done. Because I must be known for what you're charging me.
yes.
Right. Yeah, you must specify in your constitution what.
Yes. So just to be clear that they've done that, they said in the policy that he couldn't go to those kind of lectures, and he agrees that he was not in line with the policy. So the fact that he disobeyed the policy, that's not the issue. I mean, he did disobey the policy, but the question is, can they now expel him because he disobeyed the policy? And there's nothing in the Constitution that said he could be expelled, except this clause. So his expulsion wasn't covered in the Constitution. So it says all matters not covered by the Constitution shall be dealt with by the union as deemed fit. So how many are saying he can be expelled?
Yes.
Okay. And the others are saying he cannot be expelled.
Yes.
Okay. And how many? Hoeveel draadsitters is that? Okay. So this is what the court said back then. The court's decision. We're waiting for the court's decision. Okay. It says the clause in question is so vague as to be almost meaningless, and in any event, even if it might in circumstances have some meaning accorded to it, it certainly does not support by clear implication the meaning sought to be placed upon it on behalf of the union, which is to terminate membership. I conclude therefore that the union did not have the power in terms of the Constitution to cancel the membership. So the majority decision, right? That's, I mean, you've agreed with the court and the court agrees with you. So, very important about membership. This decision, it's an old decision, 1974, was confirmed by the Supreme Court of Appeal in 2009. And it also was about somebody that was expelled from a political party. Okay, so we're almost 5 minutes.
Are you talking about my name?
No.
You know, it's something very interesting because the issue was saying, well, you join voluntarily, and the Constitution says if you break the laws of it, as a member, you must comply and abide by the Constitution. So you have not done so, so we have the right to say, because it's stated.
But
But the NPO says, in this NPO case, it was not stated explicitly.
yes, yes. And with the ANC's constitution, it's stated explicitly. So, in terms of structure of the organization, the NPO Act says that the constitution must set out the structure of the organization. Basically, we get two kinds of structures: membership structure, where you've got members, and a non-membership structure where you don't have members and you only have a committee. That's important to be clear on the constitution on the two structures, and it's basically a matter of choice for the organization. The NPO Act also says that you must stipulate information about the meetings, quorum requirements, minutes of meetings, and also rules for convening and conducting meetings. So that's important. And if it's a membership organization, then obviously you would have other general meetings as well. So you have your board meetings, or your committee meetings, and also annual general meetings and special general meetings. As I said, in the NPO application form, it talks about minutes, quorum, and also decision making. The constitution must also say that the organization will open a bank account. Not may, but it will open a bank account, and its financial year end must be stipulated. And it's also advisable to state the reporting requirements, and we'll talk about that later. This is, oh yes, last part is amendments and dissolution. The constitution should make a provision for amendment procedure. It's not good to say that your constitution can only be amended at an AGM, because if you need to change it, you don't necessarily want to wait for the AGM for that to happen. So the constitution should make this, provision for that, for the special general meetings, and then also stipulate what the requirement would be, and also, as I said earlier, upon dissolution, assets must be transferred to another non-profit organization with similar objectives. That phrase non-profit organization must be in the constitution.